you can handle the heat.
Booyah, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Gang Elite. It's your boy G Swizz and Jokes are here. We are all the way in Winter Park, Orlando, Florida. Shout out to WPVC for letting us use the facility. And guess what? We are joined the second time with an all-time great. People say he's the best to ever do it, but I say this a lot, but I really mean this. He's like a father figure to me. He means the world to me. I've known him for about 2 days now in person, and I don't know where to hug him or kiss him. Bruno Rezende, the greatest to ever do it. Bruno, thanks for hopping on, man.
It's a pleasure. And mic check?
Mic
It's
check?
Okay, mic check.
Guys, everyone give Bruno a little slack here. This is his first time being interviewed, first time with a microphone. Yeah. So he is a little nervous, so if you hear some shaking, that's why.
No.
Bruno, my man, how you liking America?
It's amazing. I was spending my vacation in Miami, and then we're so close of this camp here in Orlando, so I came to see you, and help the kids and maybe understand how works here in US, these volleyball clubs, because in Brazil it's so different. So it's been so interesting for me to have this experience.
I mean, for you'd kind of talked about the difference. What are the differences for the Brazil community? Like when you first came in here, what did you see that you're like, okay, this is new?
We don't have too many clubs of volleyball like this one. We have like clubs with every sport. Then football, judo, basket. So almost every kid like plays one sport. So you don't have a lot of kids like this just playing volleyball. So I'm just came in one club here in Orlando, and I know that just in Orlando we have several clubs, and I can imagine all around the US. So I can imagine how many kids are practicing and training volleyball. So that's amazing for who loves volleyball, and that's something that I want to maybe to show them in Brazil, that we can maybe put something like this there.
Yeah, I think exactly that. And we were talking yesterday because perspective is everything. And for you, someone who grew up in a whole other country and culture, you one of the first things you say is like, how is a country like this not at the top at all times? And it's a good question. Like for me, this is something I tell to all kids we work with, like the facilities, the resources, everything here, the money that's put into volleyball compared to the rest of the world is at a high. It's at the top of the list, and for us, the U.S. is in a position where we should be, at the top consistently. And so, whenever we're not, there's always question marks. It's like how much everything's growing right now in the U.S. We hope that continues to be upward trend. So, yeah, it's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, and we don't have facilities like this. For us, it's difficult to have a facility like this, even in a top team club in our first league in Brazil. So that's what is so different for us, and I think we have a lot to improve there, but yes, maybe it's some reflections that even the US volleyball can make, to continues to improve and to grow.
What makes, so obviously we talked about a little bit, like you just mentioned, the US should be on top in everything, right? In terms of volleyball, you see the money, but what is it about Brazil that makes you guys continuously, for the most part, a lot of times, the last 20 so years, the best?
Yeah, maybe last 2 years we weren't on the top, but yeah, I think the other 20 years we were almost there, or always on podium, like 4 Olympic game finals, 5 times, 6 times finals of World Championship. So it's not easy, and I think first of all is the culture. I think that how we work there, it's quite different than US. I don't want to say that which one is correct, which one is the right one, because I think you can mix and get the best of every philosophy. So we work a lot with tables and with a lot of repetitions on defense, on technical skills, that for me, for kids or someone that are in the first stage of the career, it's so important, you know. And maybe to arrive on 6-on-6, better, you know, much, how can I say, much prepared. So talking with some friends that are American friends and talking with you here, maybe you have a little bit different like philosophy on this on the beginning with the kids. So I think this is one thing that maybe for Americans it's important to open a little bit their mind, not just because they are wrong, but because we have like the possibility to see other, you know, cultures, like the French one, like they love to play 3 against 3. You play there, and you know how they improve their game, you know. So and we have like Japanese style, you know, a lot of defense, a lot of cover. How we can improve, look into others, you know, look into other philosophies, look into other mentalities. So I think that could help not just U.S. volleyball, but every country.
I think what's interesting about that is because you take a country like U.S. U.S. has a huge volleyball community, right? But the volleyball community is, okay, you have like grass volleyball, you have beach volleyball, but like the elite volleyball is the college volleyball, right? For you guys, for the rest of the world, the elite volleyball is the world stage. They're used to seeing that, they're used to having that. And for us, you see, like you said, you always talked about because of college and because you don't really see like the elite stuff that these French kids, these Brazilian kids are doing at 18, 19. Like you're 24, 25, and then bam, then you're there. So you have such a smaller amount of time at that level. And then when they get over there, they get destroyed usually. And then all of a sudden they have to learn quick. I think it's very interesting. I think something I didn't really realize till you started talking about that.
Yeah, we were talking about this, like even for today for Brazilian player, it's better to play overseas because the level of the competition is higher. So you are always playing with the best players in the world, not just in Italy, but in Poland and maybe even in France. So in Champions League. So when I grew up like watching some players came in from US to Italy, like Taylor Sander in the beginning, Micah Christensen, and Aaron Russell, all these guys. You can see that like in the beginning it's not easy for no one, but they kept more time, and then they kill everybody. So, but they need this time, you know, because I think maybe on college here it's a little bit different, this culture, you know, and you don't have this level, you know. So that's something interesting, and it's normal because maybe I have some players in Brazil that with 19, 20 years old, they are going overseas. They are going to Europe. And here you finish your college, you go after. So maybe took a little bit long, you know, to have this, you know, to make this step of improvement.
Do you think that you think Americans shouldn't, like, let's say, okay, you're an elite American, you're 18 years old. Do you think you see, I mean, Moni's obviously, Nicolov is a foreigner, so he has a greater understanding of the higher level volleyball. Do you think Americans should start doing that, leaving college early?
No, because I know that how much is important for them even to study. You know, I'm not here to change this mentality. You know, but one of the guys that I really changed this was with Alex Nicolov when we played in 2022 the VNL in Bulgaria. I'm a good friend of his father, Vladimir. We played against a lot of times, and we went to dinner in Sofia, and I told him I wanted to take him to Modena, and I talked with Gianni, who was our coach in that moment in Modena, with our director. This guy is incredible. He's so talented. He's have a lot of potential, and I think 3 years ago he was like 19. Maybe he made just 2 years in college here, or 1. I don't know. He played in Hawaii. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Long
he played
Beach.
one season. One season.
Alex,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I told his father, like, I want here him in Modena because for me he can be the future of the volleyball, Italian volleyball. So he's ready. And then they talked in their family. I know that the study was so important for them, but he continues in Italy. And in that year, he decided to move on, to go to Italy, and he goes to Lube. In the beginning, he was struggling a little bit. In the end of the season, he was on the final of the Italian league, playing and scoring 20 points a game. So I think you can go, and you will have some difficulties in the beginning, but it's normal. But this step on the volleyball court, you can do before.
Jason, I think for me, it can. I mean, you take a guy like the Nicolovs, and you see it. It can go one or two ways, right? I think that obviously, if you're international and you're at that level, you're the caliber that you're ready to make that next step, I think 1 year does help you because it gives you a lot of confidence. Because you're 18, right? You go to 18, you go to a big club, right? Not everyone's so lucky to have a nice Bruno on their team to help them. Sometimes the older guys are a little brutal and a little more, as you should, Sometimes it's a little much, and that can ruin a kid's confidence for a little while, and then they kind of build up. So I think what the university does, I'm just talking for international guys or guys that are that caliber, it gives them a little confidence, They're going against some teams that are maybe not that, they have more freedom. The coach is not going to be like, you have to do this and this if you're that level of player. Like you saw with Moni a lot this year, he's just free-flowing, just doing whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, I think it's a process, and here it's everything doing with more patience. But you have to understand that maybe now the US team is young and they will need to get this international experience. So they won't be ready, to sub Matt Anderson or Max Holt or, Christensen or these guys because they are not ready in this moment. They have to, to get these international experiences, some games, VNL, and other championships to get into another level, But I think it's the process. If you are able to understand that, it's okay.
For sure, I think, yeah. It's interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, I think it's interesting because the U.S. rarely ever has, nowadays, a good young team. It's always like if you rely on guys that are extremely skilled but just need to get more experience, but are fresh out of college or are in college, you see it also in the girls' game. It's not pretty. You know what I'm saying? They're just not there. That's just the reality of the situation. So I think that's always been a little interesting to me. And then the U.S. gets mad and the fans get mad. And like, oh. But that's just kind of reality of the situation, though. Sorry, a little distraction here. I have a question for you about your jerseys. We're going to go into your shoes here in a second. I want to ask you about your jerseys first. Brazil, the traditional bright yellow, beautiful yellow, I should say, a little bit of green. Last 4 years, you guys switched it to where it's more like those colors. It's more of a green and then a little bit of yellow, or half green and more yellow. You know what I'm talking about? Like the new Brazil jerseys. There's more green in them than there is yellow, or there's more green in them than traditional.
No, because if you see our flag, we have yellow, green, blue. Right. So it depends. I think in these last 18 years that I was in the international team, we had like yellow, green, blue, and white, because white is nice too.
So what's your favorite one? Like, what's your favorite colorway?
Oh, yellow. I think yellow is Brazil. When you see that yellow jersey, is like, man, it's Brazil there.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I like the new colors, but it doesn't feel as Brazil. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about the new jerseys?
No, now this year they changed again the sponsor and
who's the sponsor?
And now it's Volt. It's a Brazilian brand, and it's really beautiful. I really like it. Yeah, I think they waited me to go out to. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's really nice. And the yellow is the first one, so I really appreciate it.
I mean, yeah, it's like your soccer team too. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you? I mean, it's so traditional, but like obviously, if you have a new company coming in, they can't. I mean, they can do the same thing, but they want to make their mark on it a little bit. They want to.
Yeah. Someone told that I think the brand I think was Nike. I don't remember. Wanted to put a Brazilian T-shirt for the World Cup 2026, like red with something. And in Brazil, like everybody just start to, to
Hate on them.
everybody on the internet like, oh, what the fuck, what is doing, It's crazy. We are yellow. We cannot lose our, our.
Your vibe. It's like it comes. It just the color and like whether it's volleyball or soccer, football.
Football.
Football. Yeah. Football.
Football.
It's like the same. It's like it just goes together like that. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. But let's get into your shoes, man.
Yeah.
All right. What's the exact name of those shoes?
Yes. These.
You maybe gotta show them to the camera like that.
This is a BR1. That's my shoes. We made a collab with Olympics. That is a
Very big.
very big brand in Brazil. And yes, it's the first shoes ever in Brazil with collab with a volleyball player. So it was quite nice. We made together. I tried a lot of models of other brands, and we tried to arrive in what I preferred. Like I don't like. I like a heavy, not heavy one, a lighter one.
Like a heel. Like are you talking about like the
Yeah.
heel or the color?
No, the heel. Yeah, and so like soft and comfortable, and they wanted to do like we have a lot of colors, so because that's happening with I don't know LeBron James here in with his shoes, it's not just to the court. Maybe sometimes you can use with jeans, the white one, or the black one.
Yeah.
You can go, go somewhere. It's not just to play volleyball. So that's the main thing that they thought. So I'm really happy. It's 1 year and it's going really well. A lot of kids in Brazil are playing with this. So I'm really honored to have a tennis shoes. Yeah.
And for those ones, they're pretty light. Like they're not like if you look at those right, as soon as someone sees like you said, a little heavier, like it looks like a little bigger of a heel or bottom, they think okay, it's heavy. But those are actually pretty light.
Yeah.
Like they're not bad.
Yeah. You put yes.
Yeah, I
right?
did, of course.
Yeah. And
Those were nice.
yeah, they're really nice and comfortable. Yeah, I think they made a great job.
And then do you ever play against players in your shoes?
Yeah, in the Brazilian league, I had a lot of guys that playing, and no, it's nice. I was just asking them, "How do you like?" No, man, it's perfect for me. I really love it, and the price is better because it's a Brazilian brand.
So those are like $70, yeah.
Yeah, $75. Yeah, and it's for us in Brazil like a Nike one is at least 120. At least 100. So sometimes it's better for a young player that using a Brazilian brand.
And you ever gonna make a second pair?
Let's see. I don't know.
The BR2s.
The BR2s. Would you call them the BR2s?
No, because I'm number one.
BR1.
So yeah. B1 1.1.
1.0, and then just keep adding zeros to it.
And for me, it's amazing to have this type of brand because it's Brazilian. So I was in Italy these last 6 years, and I was playing with Olympics, and just me playing with Olympics. It's something that I care with pride. So that means a lot to me. Like we have this pride in Brazil. So get a Brazilian brand it's really really nice for me.
And they don't ship to America.
I don't know, man. We have to ask them.
We'll just put the link in the bio.
Yeah, I will
below.
put the link and let's see if they.
Bruno's got us. We'll put the link in the bio. We're all good. We're all good to go. Do you have any setter questions, Sue?
No, I didn't have setter. You brought up something. I wanted to see like for your kind of stopping with the national team. Was that a conversation with the coaching staff, just with yourself, or how did that all go down for you?
No, it was by myself. I'm a little bit sometimes tough with myself, and I think is probably the last year. I think I struggled a lot, and I wasn't in a good shape, and I wasn't confident, and I think I needed this break. I needed to go out because I thought that I wasn't ready, and I was doubting a little bit of my level. So I really need to get this time to, to stop and to get a vacation and to think about other things, and maybe get a really good pre-season to prepare me for the best way for the next year. Maybe I will change my mind, but I think it's something that I understood that I needed, and yes, most of it was conversations with myself.
No, so there is like possibility that for you to go back with national team always. Like this is possibility and can be option for sure.
It's like, I don't know. Now they are starting like a new team with young guys, so maybe things gonna happen, and I will be cheering for them. So I hope I don't need it, but maybe like Wallace made before after Tokyo, and we had 2 big injuries on opposite position, and he came back. So maybe could happen. So I don't want to say no, I never go anymore to the national team, but in my mind I think a cycle, it's over,
Can I ask you what you said? You said it was obviously as an athlete, you get older, stuff doesn't start to feel the same anymore. What was the progression through that? Like, what was the first thing you're like, this doesn't feel good, and then what got worse, and then what happened, and then what happened where you start to realize, okay, this is not how I want to be?
I think it's the consistency,
Like the accuracy in the set?
Yeah, not just the accuracy, but how you can arrive on the ball, to be accuracy, and to maintain a good standard, So I think I started to have more up and downs that in my prime years, Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's something that you have to maybe to understand and to, like, how can I say, try to reinvent yourself. I can be more important in other parts of the game. Maybe I will not be so consistency like with my precision or in some way of the game, but I can help in another way. So try to figure out how to deal with that, And yes, I think these last maybe 2 years, I understood that, and the time is something that is cruel,
Other time.
Yeah.
Other time.
Father time.
Father
Yes,
time.
and he arrived for everybody.
Don't worry, guys. We'll get right back to the action here with Bruno. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to our partners. If this didn't happen, if we didn't have them, this whole tour would not happen. We want to give first a shout out to Mikasa, Sukasa. I want to give a shout out to them because they supply us with a lot of balls. And honestly, we played with them overseas, and they're my favorite ball in the entire world. And they came out with this new red, white, and blue one that we use with the Period App System logo on it. It's sick. Put a link in the bio for them. Also, I don't jump very high. In fact, I don't jump high at all. And lately I've been wearing this Victory Against Souls, and I've been hitting, we've been getting challenged a lot, so I've been hitting a lot more, and it's been pretty sick because I'm like, okay, I can get a little more abundance, get a little more bounce, because as a guy, Buna, I need that. I need the bounce. Also, what am I wearing right now? Nothing but the fun chinos. I mean, there's really nothing else that I wear. On this trip, I bring 15 slugs and counting. So, and whether I'm on the court, off court, doesn't matter. I only wear the slunks, the slunkachinos. Of course, long days on tour. Can't imagine to call one of those Dr. Price electrolytes. This is the best in the game right here. They have multiple flavors in here. I got my favorite electrolyte mix here. Dr. Price's is the best. Water, shake it, good to go. Nice and electrolyted. Last but not least, all volleyball shout with the shirts right here. They you guys see that jacket that Joe had? Yeah, that was all volleyball. They have a lot of really cool stuff. All the shoes I play in, all volleyball. I mean, the jerseys we're about to play in and all these challenges, all volleyball. So shout out to them for the link to buy all those. Now let's get back to the action with Bruninho.
So that's it. I think I know that I can play really good matches, but not every match like 7.5, 8. I remember in prime years, like I should never go down of 7.5. And that's consistency. You are always playing well. Sometimes you play amazing. Sometimes well. Never like really bad, or one game bad, but then come back. So that up and downs are something that if you don't deal well with that, start to put your confidence down, And
How did you deal with that? Did you have like matches?
In the beginning, I was like struggling a little bit. Now I'm getting more calm, with that, but I really have some fire inside of me that I can be better than I was this last year, these last 2 years, So I really want to do a really good preseason, like come back to basis, just think about every little thing, get a lot of details that maybe we lost when we were, playing a lot. And yes, I want to do step by step, and I hope that I can maybe play more years with more consistency.
For you spoke about this, but obviously you played for your father a lot. This is something we did a lot as well. And for you as a setter, there's a few situations in your career when your father would change and put William in, or whoever was the other setter. Was there ever moments where you were like, didn't agree with this, and or you're like, okay, because I know a lot of experienced setters, this happens sometimes, and they change and it's like it's not your day that day, and it's good maybe to change the rhythm a little bit. But how was your response for this?
Man, I have something that to be in sub or something like that, I never had a problem with that. Like, for me, always, I think that's something that my father, like, from, from the beginning, not of my career, but beginning of my life, like, it's like to be humble and to understand that, like, volleyball, because he was always coaching and I was always with him inside the court, watching, practicing, like, it's a team, Nobody is more important than others. So I really don't care about that. If we win the game, I'm okay, And I know that sometimes I was struggling, so he will do the best choice, Not just him, but all the coaches that I had. So I always understood that, and for me, like, if I went to the bench and we won the game, it's okay for me, And for me, the team is the first thing, and I'm really okay with all these moments,
How do you balance the biggest thing we get from people is that, like, oh, my parent is my coach, and it can get really, like, honestly, I would say most of the time it can get really ugly, especially the older you get. So when you're fully professional, like you said, in your prime, and your parents your coach, how do you deal with that? How is that for you?
In that moment was much better. I think the problem was when I started with the national team. I was the younger guy in the national team, and he wanted to make everybody understand that I didn't have any bonus there, So I think he put more pressure on me, and in that moment, I think our relationship got a little bit difficult. Like, when we had like a weekend free, I never went to his house, Yeah, I just want to, I don't want to be with him. So I think we got some years that our father-son relationship really we really had a space, because we understood that to have a good like relationship inside the court and with a team and to everybody to understand, that was the way to do,
Got you. And like, what did you do in practice specifically? Because obviously my brother and I always have stories of our dad and like the consequences. Obviously, he's your son. He's gonna go more over the top to set an example. Is there any like stories or anything you can find that you can?
I have one in Beijing Olympics. We were preparing a game against.
How old were you at this point?
I was 21, 22. And we were preparing the game against Germany. It was in the first round of Olympics. And I had to make like a little bit the tactics that the German setter, I don't remember who were in that moment. I think Tischer.
I think Tischer was,
Simon
yeah.
Tischer. And he played like 7 and back to Schops, Jürgen Schops. So I don't remember exactly, but I was doing all these stuffs to prepare the team A. We were in the team B. But in one moment I changed something, I played some, I don't remember, like how can I say 7 ball after ball, like
Yeah. Like change the tempo, you're saying?
yeah, shoot like
Repeat.
yeah,
Repeat.
Repeat.
Or, repeat.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then they didn't play that ball, so was like no block, and then I think Murillo killed the ball, and I was like, not that I was happy, but it's okay, but was once, one time, and then he came and just starting to yell through me, hey, you have to play like them, what are you doing? Man, I was like, I'm doing all training like this, like one ball that I changed, it could happen tomorrow, And then Gustavo Endres, the middle blocker, he entered in front of him, hey, stop, he's doing well, he's doing the right thing, I don't care. And then all TV broadcaster, because in the Olympics we had a lot in Brazil, like watching that practice, and all TV broadcaster goes at night in all television in Brazil, like, oh, father and son yelling and like fighting, and man, it was crazy. So that's one example in that moment, and I think until 2010, the first 4 years were tough for me.
You were telling us a little bit last night about it. Can you? I mean, the popularity that, you have football. I say it again.
Yeah, football.
Football, number 1, and then volleyball number 2. Like in a huge sports country. So you guys are like up there in popularity, and you're winning. So it's like huge. Can you talk about? We talked about this a little bit last night. So Ricardo, who was the main setter of the national team, he left. And then now you're the new setter at what, 19, 20? How old were you?
2007, I was 20 to 21.
Can you talk about the media pressure and kind of what they put out there about you?
He was the first setter, and in that moment they had some problems. I arrived like in 2006. I was the 3rd one, so sometimes I was like with the team. I made some matches in World League in that moment. When they were in vacation or something like that. And Brazil won the World Championship in 2006, won the World League in 2007, and Ricardo got a little bit crazy, I will not say here the reasons, but in that moment the staff, the coaches decided to cut him for the Pan American Games. But like the idea was like, you go out from the Pan Am Games to come back after, because you need you, but it's like you cannot do whatever you want, and he was the first one, and then Marcelo was go to his place, and I was the 3rd one, and I go to the bench. So in that moment we were playing the Pan Am Games in Brazil, so everybody were talking like, oh, Bernardo cuts Ricardo to put his son, But was much easier if he could like cut Marcelo, you know, if he wants to do something to, you know.
And so this is like on like headline news, like
News,
headline news, newspapers,
everything, every newspaper. We didn't have in that moment like internet, like Instagram or these stuffs, Twitter, but every TV broadcaster, every newspaper talking about that. In the first match that we played in Pan Am Games, one part of the public just, you know, starting to boo, boo when I enter in the court. So that in my home court in Maracanãzinho, so it wasn't easy.
When did it start to turn around though? Like when did you be like, okay, we love you now, you know, because it's like that.
When I became the first setter, 2009, we won World League, we won World Grand Champions Cup. 2010, we won World Championship. So, and I already, in that moment, I think 4 leagues in Brazil, being best setter in all the editions. So they started to understand, but never stopped this little voice, you know, talking about the possibility that the father are, you know, giving maybe more chances to the son. So for me, it was so important to go to Italy when I just left Brazil, because there they didn't care about who is your father, who is your mother, you know. You just need to play, and in the highest level. So in that moment was so important to me to be in Modena. And I think that was my game changing of this part of my life.
And now you're back. And any other more questions, Joe?
No, ask yours.
I was gonna ask. Actually, no. You go with yours.
No,
I can book.
for me,
It was interesting, that whole transition. I was gonna ask a question totally off topic. I want to ask you, in Brazil, who would your, Mount Rushmore? You know what this is?
Top 4 players.
The four presidents. There's a mountain in the
Okay.
U.S. with the four famous presidents.
4 famous, 4 people say best or whatever presidents. So whenever.
And so the 4 heads, the faces of Brazil volleyball, in the history of the game, who would you put on this? It can be anybody in the sport of volleyball.
Okay, I'll put Sergio.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the face of a Brazilian guy, like came from poor, you know, situation and become
Mm-hmm.
best ever, best libero ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think my father.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Did he play? Did your father play?
He went to Moscow 80 and Los Angeles 84.
Okay.
He was silver medal. He was a setter too. I will put Jiba,
Mm-hmm.
because Jiba was like not just about his technique, or because he was like charisma and everything. He was like he's amazing. And I think the coach of the national women's team, Zé Roberto. He was so important too. He won 3 times Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, because we had 2 really good generations of women too, but I think he was like being gold medalist 2 times with them, maybe the face too.
Okay.
Okay, I think that.
And if I think this might be easy answer, but if you were to take one player in all of Brazil national team history, and you were to make 6 of them, and they have to play a match, so it's like if I take you, you have to play 6 Brunos on the court, and you have to play. One has to play middle, one has to play outside. So with your skill, which player do you take as the best team? So like in basketball, I take LeBron James because
all around.
Yeah.
All around. Murilo
Murillo.
for me is one of the most maybe underrated players, because he was for me top 3 ever spikers. Like for me that I played together, Jiba, Murilo, and Irvin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Murilo on these 3, he is the all-around player.
Mm-hmm.
He could do anything. He could block a lot, defend, receive, set, attack, serve, everything. So Murilo, for sure.
You had said that Sergio is the best libero in the world. A lot of people say Grabenikov is the best libero in the world. Why do you put Sergio ahead of him?
Because he can impact in even if Genia can do that, I can see, but Sergio he can impact in the every single day, with his charisma, with his energy. He's not just a really good player, but he was like something else, that guy that is that can shows you the real example of being someone hungry every single time. He doesn't care about what he won before. He's with the same hungry every time, without like complaining or something, and just I think making his teammates better. So this is a quality that it's so difficult to, so rare. So I think Genia probably has this the same energy. I never played with him, but I know him a lot. We are friends. But Sergio was something else for me.
Got you. Yeah, man. Liberos, I mean, in terms of skill, libero is, I wouldn't say 50-50. I would give it like a 60-40, 60% skill, but 40% what you can, energy and what confidence you can give to your team. Because realistically, we are, in terms of jumping and landing, we're spending the least amount of energy. So if you have an outside hitter who, and some people are like this, they're jumping, they're screaming, they're talking to everyone, their performance would probably go down. For libero, though, I always say, we see the entire court. Like we see, because if you're covering correctly, usually, hopefully it's a good pass, you maybe stay behind a 3-meter line or something, you see everything that's happening, and you can see the impact it has on your players and everything. So it's so important to be, 1, you see everything, 2, have a good relationship, and 3, know how to then maneuver that and how to work that.
I think the libero is maybe is the second leader on the team, together with the setter, because it's a lot to do there. It's a lot to command. It's a lot to, and yes. And even if you ask Genia, he'll say to you that Sergio was his inspiration, So, yeah, I think it's...
Last question, then done. For you, you're a general manager for a club, professional club. I want you to describe the team that you would build and why. Like the type of opposite you would take, the type of setter, the type of these like key players, the type of players that you would take in each position and why, both physically and personality.
Okay. So it's a mix, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
perfect though, perfect team for you.
Like in this moment of the volleyball,
mm-hmm.
it's so difficult to have like a non-physical setter.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting more,
yeah.
Physical every time, and it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think years ago we could play more.
Yeah.
And so, like, setting someone that I don't need someone 206 like Moni, Nicolov. He's amazing. I love to watch him playing, but I don't need there. But I need someone that could block, could serve well, could defend, and most of them like have a good personality to lead them. To lead the team. I don't care if he's the most accuracy, has the best hands in the world, but he had to understand everyone that he has in his team. So in this moment, I'll put Micah Christensen in this moment. I think he arrived in his maybe his maturity, and yes, I like I like how he deals with everything. So I will put him opposite.
Yeah, every position.
Okay. But who are playing, right?
Yes, let's say this. Yeah,
Let's say
yeah,
this
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's easier.
Yeah.
Because if not, we're gonna,
Let's say this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think opposite. Now you need someone that it's your secure. That you like in a moment you close your eyes and you have to give the ball to him and he can do everything too, because in this moment I think all around player is so important. We can see these. You cannot have like an opposite that cannot defend any ball, or maybe it's not a good blocker. So I think Nimir is the guy.
In the U.S., it's funny. Everyone laughs because the U.S. for the junior system, the opposite is viewed as the player you don't set ever, and it's like here in the U.S. the opposite is completely different.
If you're not good, if you're a middle that's not so good, okay, we put you on the opposite.
Okay.
This is
That's
the
so
best.
different.
Yeah, it's a different.
That's why we don't have any
different
opposites.
futures.
You see, I mean, America, we have some pretty good opposites, but we don't have like big boys like that other like countries
Clayton
have.
Stanley.
Yeah, exactly. Like guys like that. Like Matt Anderson's phenomenal. He's just getting older. But you see, like in the pipeline, you're like.
But he's like traditionally an outside. Growing up, he's outside.
He was traditional outside. Yeah.
So that's why and that's why everyone says like the after Matt Anderson, the opposite's a toss up to anyone really. So yeah.
Yeah. So middle blocker, I think you need. Now you have like, even in this moment, if you can take someone that can attack and can block, it's better. Because years ago you have one guy that was maybe so good in attack but not so good on block, so you should take 1 and 1.
Yeah.
But I think in this moment you have like really good complete middle blockers. I will put, for me, they are still playing, so maybe they are both of them the best I ever played. And I will put on this team because they have the right energy too. They are leaders. And Simon, even I think he's not in his prime anymore, but I think on his prime.
Yeah.
And Lucas have a big impact. When he was on his prime, he was the MVP of our league now in Brazil. So he's still like playing a lot. And they were for sure the best duo that I played with, and with a really good mentality. Really
Simple.
hard workers, and really like team guys, and that's amazing. Position 4. Yeah, I have to. So I cannot. Don't put him like Ervin is.
I do it. I do it.
He's still Olympic MVP last year.
What we can say about him,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He was not anymore in his prime, but he's Ervin. He's Olympic champion twice, MVP.
Yeah.
So you just have to deal with it,
Yeah.
And he won a cup now in Turkey. So, and he's still there.
Yeah.
Still got it.
He still got it.
He's definitely a guy where it's like, if you have a match for, say you play a match for $1 million, man, you don't want to play against him.
No,
You
for
know?
sure. For sure, you want him.
For sure.
Yeah, in your team.
When it matters, he can still go to that level.
For sure. And the other, now it's not easy because we have a lot of good guys, and if I have a team like this, I love watch Ishikawa playing.
Interesting.
And I played with him, and he's an amazing player, like all around. So I can take him or Cleveno.
Yeah.
Like then I put Genia libero, so we had like a lot of reception.
Yeah.
And with these two middle blockers, I think Micah can play easy
Yeah.
whatever he was
Undefeated season.
For me, I think I go all the same, except I make one change. I make Michieletto in for
there.
Ishikawa.
Man, I forgot.
Because for me,
I forgot Michieletto. I forgot Michieletto.
Who do you sub
I'm
him for?
sorry.
Who do you sub him for?
No, Erwin is still there. I'm sorry. I forgot him. No. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Michieletto is the guy. He's the guy now.
Okay.
For me, he's the best player in the world right
Yeah.
now. So I'm sorry. Thanks.
No, for me, because Ishikawa is really good. He can always go third guy. Like maybe he goes in for if one guy struggles. Ishikawa is really amazing too.
Ishikawa is the seventh player.
Man, yeah.
Eighth player.
For me, if I was building, like I was saying earlier, I build one team of all in the world where you have one player and they play everything. I think I take Michieletto for him to play with 6 Michielettos versus like.
Tall, he can play middle.
The one
Yeah.
thing is, imagine you play 6 Michielettos versus 6 Namirs. Namirs serve every rotation.
Yeah.
this would be very tough to
I
play.
I talk about like Murillo because Murillo in his prime he can
Yeah.
do everything.
Yeah.
He was like sometimes he's like Lucas, I play middle in the block. Like he was like so damn good blocking, so he can do everything in his prime. Like I took his prime, but yes, in this moment like Michieletto is really in another level.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good team. Good team.
That's a good team. Those are both
Jenny
really good
Libero.
teams. Of course, still got it. Or Sergio comes out of retirement again. One more time.
I think not anymore.
Well, Bruno, thank you so much. Well, one, for coming and helping us out with our camps. 2, for hopping on the podcast. And for our fans out there, if you can't handle the heat, got the damn kitchen. This has been another episode presented by Out of System.